Hi guys, today we're going to talk about line and curve of best fit. So when we look at the scatter plot, scatter plot is the graph showing the relationship between two variables. And the relationship can be linear or it can make curve. So what we're going to do this unit is we're going to take a look at a data set and we're going to see if it's making a line or it's making a curve. And from there, we're going to be able to make a prediction, So if take a look at the first question, it says Ms. Redford's 4th period civics class. If you look at this, you will see a bunch of minutes for studying and scores on the test, So we want to see if this relationship makes a line or a curve. Hopefully, it should make a line with a positive slope because if you study more, you will earn better score on your test. So what we're going to do is, you guys remember last time we talked about how to do box and whisker plot on STAT. So we're going to use very similar function, but here today we're going to learn about scatter plot. So what we're going to do, these have steps on it as well, so let's follow along. First thing that we need to do is go back to STAT button, press edit. Mine has some information in, so I'm going to clear the list. So if you look at the L1 and L2, this time we have 2 rows of information. So we're going to put both of them in L1 and L2. So minutes spent studying will be in L1 and scores on the test will be on L2. So I'm going to start with 43, 65, 10, 0, 22, 31, 84, 22, 55, and 62. That's my 10th value. Is that right? Okay. Now we're going to go to L2 and then we're going to put all the scores on the L2. So let's actually go to right arrow. Then it's going to be in L2. Make sure they are corresponded and then the right numbers on the right space. So pause the video. Why don't you just put all the information and then you can start the video again. Pause the video, please. So once you put all the information in, then we're going to actually graph the scatter plot. Anytime we have something to do with the stat, we're going to go to stat plot. So we're going to press second and y equals. We want to turn it on, so press number 1. And you always want to make sure on is highlighted. So if yours will be off is highlighted, so make sure you change it to left and then press enter. So you turn it on. And what kind of graph do you want to graph here? We want to graph the scatter plot. So what we're going to do, you use the down arrow. And then you press enter so that scatter plot is highlighted. So L1 is X list. L2 is the Y list. Once you get that, we're going to hit graph. You don't see the graph because all the information is not actually displayed on the screen right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to press zoom and press 9 to see the beautiful scatter plot. What kind of relationships do you see? Do you see positive relationship or negative relationship? Do you see linear relationship or a curve relationship? If you look at this, this makes a nice line of best fit, right? So this is the line. This is the linear graph, So describe the relations in the scatter plot. What's going to be the relations? As you study more, the test score will increase. That's the relationship. So we'll look at 2 types of functions. We're going to look at linear or quadratics. And the score on the civics test appeared to be what? It makes a nice line. It's linear. And the line or curve of best fit shows the relationship between two variables and can be used to make prediction about the data. So make sure you copy it down. Okay, so we know that now they have linear relationships. So as you study more hours, you're going to do better on the civics test. But now I want to find the equation of this linear equation. So what we're going to do is we're going to figure out the equation. How do I do that? We're going to calculate that information. So what we're going to do, we're going to press stat and calculate. So you press the right arrow. Do you guys remember 1 var represent when we use 1 var stat, we can find the mean and standard deviation. We're not going to use that. We're going to try to find the linear equation of that, which will be what button? Do you see that? Number 4 right here is linear regression, ax plus b. So we're going to press 4 and then press enter. Then you will see y equals ax plus b. A is 0.5651. B. Okay, so by looking at this information, y equals ax plus b, a is the slope, b is the y-intercept. So once you can create a scatter plot, we'll be able to calculate of the equation that represent that line. So what we're going to do is the calculator gives you the line of best fit in the screen that looks like this. We figure that out. So A will be 0.565. We're going to just round to the nearest thousandth. And y-intercept will be 48.034. Okay. So then what will be the equation? We're going to just replace the value. Y is equal to, okay, 0.565x plus 48.034. Okay, that's how you calculate the equation. Once you calculate the equation, we can actually see, we can actually make a prediction out of it. Now, before we do that, we just want to make sure if that line really represents this scatter plot. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back to y equals, and then we're going to put that information, 0.565x plus 48.034. Let's graph it. Yes, this is the line. Okay, this is the line of best fit that represent this scatter plot. Isn't that neat? Okay, once you figure that out, it's going to be really easy for us to make a prediction. So here's the information that we have. Y equals, again, 0.565x plus 48.034. We always want to get a bigger decimal value so that we can make more accurate information. Okay, so x will be minutes of studying, correct? And y will be the test score. Okay, so let's write that down. Okay, now once you get that, it says, let's make a prediction. What scores can you predict for a student who studied 15 minutes? That studied 15 minutes. What information is that? Is that the x value or y value? As we talked about, x is the minute of studying, y was the test scores. Is that right? So all you're going to do is we're going to replace 15 for x. So what we're going to do here is put 0.565. Instead of x, we're going to replace 15 plus 48.034. Okay, I want everyone to put that in your calculator and calculate the score. Okay, what was the score? 56.509. And then we're going to round that to the nearest whole number, which is 57%. Okay, is that right? Okay, then let's try the next one. Same thing. what score can you predict for a student who studied 80 minutes? So what do I need to do? You just replace 80 with X. Can you pause the video and figure that out, please? Okay, so your answer should be 93.234, which is about 93%. Okay, now take a look at the next one then. Ellen scored 84 on the test. What is the best estimate for the number of minutes he studied? How can you figure out this information? Where do I need to replace 85? Do I replace with X or do I replace with Y? 85 is the test score. So we just need to replace 84 with Y. Okay, so it's going to be 84 equals 0.565X plus 48.034. And then we're going to just solve for X by subtracting 48.034 and then divide by 0.565, right? So what will be the answer? Go ahead and figure that out. Please pause the video. Okay, so your answer should be 64 minutes. How easy is that? It sounds like it's a lot of steps, but once you get the groove of it, it's going to be really, really easy. Okay, so we're going to do a little more practice in class. So I'll see you in class. Bye.